Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Can you believe it? It seems like the holidays creep up on us and then all of a sudden, bam, they're there and we don't even realize that it happened. So today I thought I would share with you the secret to a stress-free holiday homeschool. Now, over the years of our homeschool experience, I've tried quite a few things during the holidays. I've done keeping up with our regular curriculum, or at least trying to. I've done Christmas unit studies as we get really close to Christmas. And what I found, and actually it's something that a lot of other people experience too, is that it is really hard to stay on task once the holidays get here. Because between the kids getting really excited, because who can blame them, and all of the things that you know that you have to get done, it really, really gets hard to stay on task. So what I've actually discovered over these years of homeschooling is the best way to homeschool the holidays is to not homeschool the holidays. Does that make sense? Probably not. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about textbook learning. Now, even if you are a trooper and are insistent on trudging through the textbooks until, like a couple days before Christmas, kids' minds can wander, and not only that, your mind can wander, because if you're anything like me, your mind kind of goes everywhere when you get into that mode of having a list of things that you know have to get done. So as you're helping your children with their work, at the same time you're thinking about the cookies that you have to bake and the presents that you still have to buy and the wrapping that has to get done, and you still didn't get the tree and everything else that comes with this time of year. So for us, that just didn't work, doing our regular school curriculum. Christmas unit studies are a fantastic way to homeschool the holidays, but that's another one that, even though it's a Christmas unit study, if you do it too close to Christmas, at least what I found with us, is that, again, you still have the kids not really paying much attention because they're excited, and then you have your mind wandering. And it's a little bit better than working through your regular curriculum, but it's still a bit stressful because you still find yourself thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to take so long and I have so much stuff that I still have to get done. So, remember how I said not to homeschool the holidays? I mean it. Now, I've talked in so many different videos about life schooling, and this is the perfect opportunity for you to try life schooling, which some people call unschooling, because the holidays really present so many learning opportunities for your children that you don't have to plan, you don't have to grade, you don't have to edit. They just come at you naturally. And that's what I want you to think about doing with your kids this year. And if you're not really sure what I'm talking about, I'm just going to give you a few examples. First of all, take your kids shopping with you. Of course, unless you're shopping for them. But take your kids shopping with you. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, what kind of a homeschool lesson is that? Well, I think that when we think of shopping, we don't tend to put much value to it. But if you think about it, look at all the things that your kids are learning while they're shopping with you. They're learning budgeting. They're learning how to calculate discounts. They're learning how to read the fine print on those signs that stores like to fool us with all the time. They are learning about generosity. They are learning about critical thinking, deciding what would be best for which person, what is the quality of things. They are learning how to use money. They're learning how to save money. They're learning how to be thrifty. They are learning how to speak with the clerks when they need help with something. So shopping isn't just shopping. There are so many other things that come with it. So yes, take your kids shopping with you. And another thing is cooking and baking. And I know sometimes it can be hard, especially when you've got a bunch of kids, to have everyone in the kitchen with you. And if you do have a lot of kids, what I usually do is I'll ask a couple kids to help me, maybe not all of them. But yes, invite your kids to help you with cooking and baking, because that's another one. It's a little bit better than shopping because people tend to think, oh, okay, cooking and baking, that's home ec. But it's more than home ec, because when your kids are doubling, tripling, or having recipes, right there is fractions. I don't know about your family, but we're always missing a measuring cup or two. So when your child has to figure out how to make 1 cup when you can only find a 1/4 measuring cup, that again is fractions. That's math. You know, when they are watching the yeast make the bread rise, that's chemistry. When they are using the mixer to make your whipped cream out of the heavy whipping cream, you know, that is physics. They are watching the motion of the hand mixer, you know, creating this nice, you know, frothy, it started out as liquid, it turns into this nice thick froth. And it is chemistry too, but it's also physics because it's the movement of the hand mixer. So it's not like you have to write out lessons while you're doing the baking or the cooking with your kids, but just talk to them. You know, just say to them, hey, do you know why yeast makes bread rise? Or you could say to them, hey, do you notice what's happening while you're mixing this up? So just make it as natural as possible, but your children will be learning all through this. Another thing that you might not think about being educational is decorating. And just because something's fun doesn't mean that it's not worthy of a learning experience. And decorating goes right with that. Because yes, of course, you know, it's helping to teach your children about aesthetics. But besides that, you know, they're oftentimes measuring things to make sure that they're putting things in the proper place. They're learning about safety, you know, how to properly use a ladder if they're old enough, how to properly use a staple gun if they're old enough, a hammer, all of those sorts of things. They're learning about how to use these things and to be safe about it. They're also learning about symmetry. You know, I know that now not everybody likes things symmetrical when they're decorating. I know that I do. So you're teaching your kids about symmetry, you know, keeping things the same on both sides. And you're just teaching them how to do so many different things around the house as they're getting this done too. Because while your kids are attaching those Christmas lights, they're also learning skills that they might be able to use in other areas of life too when something needs to get done around the house. Okay, and another area that really is great for homeschooling this time of year is visiting friends and family. And I know there's this stereotype with relatives and Christmas, and I'm going to admit there are some relatives that they're pretty tough to get along with at this time of year. But if anything, your kids will learn tolerance as they are visiting these family members. But I'm going to say that I am an optimist when it comes to this, and I really do believe that most people have great families who are awesome to be with. So while your kids are with you know, your relatives, they're hearing about family stories, family history. They're learning about genealogy, your family or cultural traditions. And not only that, they're just learning what it's like to work as a family unit, extended family. So if you've ever wanted, you know, the perfect social studies lesson for your kids, well, visiting family is the perfect way to do it. You know, it's complete family dynamics, and it covers so many different areas that you don't need to open up a social studies textbook for your kids to learn about that. Another area that you could work with your kids that usually does come in at this time of year is crafting. You know, and my kids, they're very crafty. They are making stuff all year long. But when your kids know that something that they're making is going to have an actual purpose, it really does bring a new intensity to what they're doing. Because, you know, when your kids are painting a picture that they know, yeah, it's going to get, you know, placed on the wall for a little while and then possibly get thrown out or put in a portfolio, while they might have fun doing it, it doesn't hold the same meaning as, say, for example, if they are creating a Christmas wreath for your front door that is going to be used as a decoration year after year after year. Or if they're making a dollhouse out of a cardboard box for a sibling, you know, it's something that is going to actually be used. Or if your kids are learning how to knit or to crochet, you know, making pot holders as gifts, knitting scarves, you know. So crafting, I know that a lot of people tend to look at hands-on activities as being a little busy work. I do not agree with that at all. I think that hands-on activities are fantastic any time of the year, but at this time of year, since there are so many things in this area that have to get done, not just because it goes with the subject that you're learning about, but because there's a need for it, it really does bring some life to what your kids are doing, and it really helps them to see how everyone contributes to the house. So I hope that these tips have helped you a little bit. I did write a blog post about this that I published last night, so I will link that at the bottom because I may have a few more tips on it there. I'm not quite sure. I'm doing this all out of memory. So if you have any questions, leave a comment. If you have any tips on homeschooling through the holidays, I would love to hear it, and I'm sure that a lot of other people would love to hear it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already and you would like to hear more, I've been posting about once a week. I would love if you would subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.